Hi, this is Majinoni, and it's time to talk some previews. This is the previews for books that are coming out in March 2014. Now, I have to apologize a little bit because, I know I don't give DC a lot of love, but I gotta be honest with you, DC's not helping themselves in this case because it's not necessarily because of lack of writing, they're not really putting stuff out there that is brand new like Marvel is with all the number ones, creative changes, and we're in a lot of um, like storylines. So this way, we're not getting anything truly exciting that's fresh. But that being said, let's take a look here. What we have is Dark Horse Blackout. Now, Dark Horse does have a line of superhero titles, and Blackout's one of the ones that will be coming out. Now, why? I bet you're wondering why am I even highlighting this? Well, because if you're looking for something that's going to be a little bit more mature, and not necessarily in the sex part, but in terms of storytelling, it's going to be not necessarily dealing with like a Peter Parker lifestyle. This is something that you might want to take a look at in terms of the Dark Horse Superhero Collection. It's a little bit different. Next up, for DC, like I said, this isn't earth-shattering, but we'll give it a go. We have Forever Evil that's getting close to being completed, and with Justice League number 29, we get the Metal Men finally in full swing, fighting the evil cyborg. Then we have, I guess Justice League of America isn't that exciting, but it looks like they're finally getting close to the superheroes trapped inside the Firestorm. Forever Evil 7 should be a nice little action-packed series, or I should say episode. Then under Rogues Rebellion number 6, this actually I'm looking forward to because now we're getting the Rogues versus Killer Grodd, and they're actually making more of an attempt to fight against the Crime Syndicate. So this I am looking forward to. Now on to Justice League Dark number 29. This is finally the conclusion to Forever Evil Blight. So basically, even though they defeated Blight this month, or I should say last month, now they're going after the captured Dark Heroes. For Jeff Johns fans, you're probably going to want to pick up the JSA Omnibus hardcover number 1. Now, please keep in mind this is a $125 book if you go to a comic book store. But you get 1,224 pages. Now, this is pretty much considered a classic series in that you're going to get a lot of excellent storytelling. Now, even though I highlighted Jeff Johns, he's not the only writer, he's not the only creator involved here. There's a number of issues here, and this entire run for the JSA is considered, like I said, a classic. I am seriously tempted to buy this, but I'm worried about in terms of funds because I have some statues and toys coming out around this time, so I don't know when I'm going to get it, and the problem is I don't want to wait too much longer after that because that's when things go out of print. So, that being said, if you do plan on getting this, please check places like Amazon, Discount Comic Book Services, Mile High Comics, all those online subscription-type realtors, in-stock trades, because I guarantee you all of those people are probably going to offer it at a discount, and it's going to be definitely less than the $125. So, look for it there. Of course, your comic book store is going to hate me for saying that. Now, next up is American Vampire Second Cycle number 1. This is Scott Snyder's vampire story. I really enjoyed the first trade. I want to get the rest. I've been so bad about getting this series. It's painful, but I really enjoyed it. It's a very interesting vampire storyline that deals with different time periods. Highly recommend it. Not necessarily a good jumping on period, but since we haven't seen an American Vampire in a while, if you're a fan of it, definitely watch out for it. Also, for horror fans, IDW has 2 Steve Niles books. This is basically going to be a Frankenstein and Dr. Jekyll book. So, definitely take a look at that. And I said 2, but it's actually just 1. 3-issue miniseries. Next up for Image is Real Heroes. This is Brian Hitch's book. Now, I love Brian Hitch's artwork. I think it's fantastic. But look, let's be honest here. You're buying the first issue, and maybe we'll see issue number 2 by the end of the year. So be prepared for that. I wish you would just do like maybe a 72-page, one-shot type thing, because that's the only, or original graphic novel, because I think that's the only way we're going to be able to get an entire story without making us kind of wish we never bought the first issue, because we're going to forget everything that happened. But if you're a fan of Hitch, keep your eyes up on that. I'll tell you this much, I'm probably not going to buy it, because I know the truth. We're not really going to see the ending anytime soon. Now, I bet you're wondering, why am I showing you Attack on Titan? Because Attack on Titan's already coming out, and 11 volumes have already appeared. That's simple. This is just to remind you how awesome Attack on Titan is, and how, and what, and not how. It's like, you should just buy this thing, because it's so freaking awesome. And there are 2 other Attack on Titan trades coming, or mangas coming out. First is Before the Fall and Junior High. Probably recommend maybe skipping Junior High. It's going to be comedy in a way. It's probably not going to have the same intensity as Attack on Titan. And I'm probably going to get it, but it's not. But I'm just warning you, it's not going to be the same. Before the Fall, though, I've started to read a few of the chapters. Great. It's really, so far, interesting. It's more dealing with people, and it's way before they have their maneuver gear. And I'm really enjoying it, so I'm really looking forward to that. So, all of you out there who complain you don't have nothing else to read out there, Attack on Titan Volume 1. Next up is the return of Ranma 1/2. Now, Ranma 1/2 is pretty much one of the ultimate classic manga animes that came out years ago, where you had martial arts, comedy, and you had people changing genders when they get water thrown on them. So it's a mixed hat thing, but it was entertaining, even though it kind of got repetitious. Why am I offering this to you? Is because this is a classic story. It's very lighthearted, and there's some good action in it. And they're coming out with a 2-in-1 edition, so this way you don't have to buy as many volumes. On to Marvel. My God, there's so many freaking Marvel #1 books. I'm not even going to show them all. First up is Daredevil #1. Why am I showing Daredevil #1? Because he's moving to California. You demanded it, everybody. So he's moving. And you wonder, it's like Daredevil, Matt Murdock moves to California. And Daredevil suddenly moves to California. And he's no longer in New York's Hell Kitchen. Really? Nobody's going to think that he's Matt Murdock. Come on. Iron Man #1. Now, I was very, very excited. Because you had Malekith getting a ring. But then, I read the Green Lantern Iron Man comic book. And then I hate the concept of it. But I'm torn. I'm really so torn. And this cover, you have to admit, this cover is badass. So I'm like, oh, I don't know if I should buy this or not. But I thought I'd bring this out because that's going to be bad if he gets those rings permanently. Next up, Moon Knight. Moon Knight has always been a failed project for Marvel. Now, sometimes they do well and sometimes it doesn't, but by doing well, I mean it lasts more than 10 issues. In this case, it's written by Warren Ellis. I believe they're going to take a slightly different twist to the character, so this might be something that you might want to look into. Next up is Avengers Undercover. Now, I know I bagged on Avengers Arena, but it actually turned out to be a good series. And I'm actually really looking forward to this because it's continuing Avengers Arena, where you're going to have the damaged superheroes joining Baron Zemo, and they're up to some shenanigans. And by shenanigans, I mean they're not really that bad. But this picture is total badass. I would buy a poster of this if they make it. It's that simple. Okay, Wolverine and the X-Men #1. Now they're doing a whole new direction, new creative change here. Now, if some of you guys might do a quick glance, and you'll notice that Jason is on there, but it's Jason Latour. He's the new writer instead of Jason Aaron. So don't be fooled by accident. And I don't know. I mean, I'm probably going to get it, but then I don't know yet. Magneto #1. I'll be honest. I'm not really stoked about this issue at all. But I figure for the X-Men fans out there, I'll definitely put it out to say, hey, watch for that. Same thing with Iron Patriot #1. I'm probably not going to buy this, They are promising a death right at the beginning, but you know what deaths are. They're used to manipulate sales. So once I heard that, serious interest of this book like just dropped immediately. So we'll see. Plus, they don't even have really big name people working these books, so who knows what the quality is gonna be like. Captain Marvel #1. Well, you know what? They finally got an artist who knows how to draw a Captain Marvel. So you know what? I might buy this. I don't know yet, but I really did like this. This would actually make a really nice poster. You know, hopefully somebody at Marvel will hear this part and go, maybe we should make some posters and send them to Maginoni because he really likes the posters. Would love to have it as a poster. Okay, Ghost Rider. This is the one where I think it's going to come back to haunt me, but this is a different take on Ghost Rider. It's not, any of the people that have been Ghost Rider in the past, which under normal circumstances is already at a negative. But this is written by a guy named Felipe Smith. I've known of Felipe Smith for years. I've met him. He's a really nice guy. He went to Japan. Actually, he first worked at Tokyo Pop. Then he went to Japan. He did a manga there. And then he's now back in the States. Now, this guy has some freaking crazy imagination, and that's what I'm really looking forward to for this Ghost Rider. I think what we're going to do is we're going to see an entirely different take on this character. And this is where I say I think this is going to come back to bite me, because in some cases it might go a little too far and people are going to go, what the hell are you thinking? This is not the character that I know and love. But on the other hand, some people might warm up to this character. Personally, I think this might be such a radical departure from the Ghost Rider that we normally know and love that I have a feeling it's probably going to get canceled on relatively quickly, and I don't think we're ever going to see this thing hit anywhere near the top 50. But like I said, I really do like Felipe Smith. He's got a wild, violent imagination, and I think his stuff is a little different than a typical Marvel comic book would be like, and that's what appeals to me about this book. So that is my minute of talk on buying this book. And finally, Silver Surfer #1. This is Dan Slott and Mike Aldred's book. I don't know. I really like Dan Slott, but this might be a little too much for me. I don't know if I'm going to pick this one up yet. In the previews magazine, they had that couple pages, and I had the previous book, the Marvel Now book, and I don't know, it's not necessarily the artwork that does it for me, because the artwork reminds me a lot of like a Steve Ditko type influence, but it's just, I don't know, there's something about it that's just making me kind of go, maybe not. But I thought I'd throw this out there. Dan Slott has a lot of fans. There's a lot of talent in terms of writing and artists. So this is one of those types of books that I have a feeling, if handled correctly, could really be a wild card and be a truly good book. So definitely keep your eyes out for it. And last but not least, Goblin War is almost done. April is the final issue, and then we'll have Amazing Spider-Man in April. So please make sure, if this is something that you want to see that big climactic battle between Peter Parker, Doc Ock, and the Green Goblin, now is the time. The next issue of Amazing Spider-Man, Superior Spider-Man that comes out, make sure you buy it. In fact, buy last month's issue. That way you can get the start of the big fight. Anyways, comments or questions, let me know. Let me know what books you are looking forward to in March. And especially if I didn't put them down here. And I want to hear from DC people. What books are you looking forward to? I'll have more reviews later. I'll have April's preview up in about a week or so. And I have a manga haul coming up soon. So, and I haven't done news just because there hasn't been anything newsworthy recently. So, until next time.